Welcome to Unplugged, the tech podcast for digital entrepreneurs. I am one of your hosts, Brooke, the founder of the Sober Biz Collective.
Hey, podcasters. I'm Nate Kelly, best-selling author and founder of Pod Studio. If you're looking for tips, tools, and tech on how to utilize podcasting for your business, you're in the right spot. Let's get unplugged.
I feel like with business ownership in general, like we get in this space, like we have to do it all, we have to have it all, we have to know it all in order to give this value to our clients. And it was so funny. I remember like learning Photoshop and learning InDesign and Illustrator and all these things so I could help my clients. And now I'm like working 90% of the time on Canva. You know, like I spend all this time trying to make sure I know what I'm talking about. And all they care about is that it's done. And 90% of the times it's like I could find a template to get started on. My work is like half the work is done. And then I just make sure it's branded properly for them. I save myself the time and they're happier because it gets done quicker. And I put all this pressure on myself for no reason. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they want a finished product. That's all they want.
Yeah. Yeah. And to your point about trying to do everything, being everywhere, having a presence on every platform, it can get exhausting. So,
Yeah.
and impossible, really, unless
Mhm.
you have a social media team managing things for you.
Yeah.
God bless you if you do. I hope to be there one day. But I've just committed to the YouTube Shorts, clipping out my video for YouTube Shorts, and some Reels via Meta. So really just Meta and YouTube are my focus right now. And so far, so good. How about you? Give us the update.
The update.
Any tech?
Have I bought anything? You'd think I have. I had to buy some USB splitters for karaoke and trivia nights.
Okay. What do you use for? Do you use for karaoke? Whatever system they have, or do you take your own stuff?
So we have a system. The one that I'm hosting a show at a brewery that already had a setup there. So I've just been plugging our computer in there, and then we use like a really old program to run karaoke. It doesn't need a whole lot, but I'm looking at ways to upgrade it, and because I always am.
Yeah, of course, as we do.
But karaoke, I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun. There's not a lot of fun tech that goes into that. It's a lot of like, how do we get this on more than one screen? And then sitting down and like mapping out an HDMI path
Yeah.
for different screens. But trivia has been really cool. We started with a program that allows you to connect through your phone to this like trivia program. So then we have a host come in and host the trivia night. We make all these questions, put it into the program, and then they would like answer, and whoever answers quickest gets the most points. They're pretty easy. It was really fun, but for the brewery that we're working at, we wanted to do like more of like a team vibe where people are like bringing in their friends and writing it out on paper, just like kind of more classic. So
Yeah.
reinvented the wheel and like completely developed a trivia program last week through
Really?
Canva, actually. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was so cool. The stuff on Canva just blows my mind. Like you can make the coolest
You
things.
really can. Anything.
It's a PowerPoint presentation, but it looks like, it's a program.
Yeah.
And it's got
Depending
moving
on.
pictures and
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, so do you treat these like you incorporate comedy? Are you hosting like as an MC, or are you just on the technical side?
Both.
Okay.
So yeah, so we're developing it. We are hosting it. My husband's been doing it up until last week, and then I'm going to be taking over trivia and karaoke for this one place. But we're also going to be bringing. One day, I'm going to refine the amount of jobs I have.
Let's work on that.
Yes, today is not that day. I'm hosting a comedy class for adults. So at the end of the class, we have a performance, and we're going to develop like a comedy showcase. And then the brewery that I'm working at wants to bring the class there and have them perform at the brewery. So it's going to be interesting because like all my friends are sober.
Yeah.
90% of my classmates that are in the comedy workshop I'm hosting are sober.
Let's go down to the brewery.
I know, let's go down to the brewery. It's so weird, but luckily, a lot of places are actually offering a lot of non-alcoholic options now.
Yeah,
Like, they have a
I love it.
non-alcoholic beer, they have a ton of craft sodas, they even have a craft soda on tap.
Ooh,
So there's options. Uh, they also have a food truck outside.
nice.
Yeah, and then having things to do like karaoke and trivia and stuff, it makes it, like, fun to be out where you don't feel like you have to drink to enjoy yourself, so I'm
Yeah,
trying to, show the world that sobriety can be fun, enjoyable. You don't need to
absolutely.
poison yourself to, like, have a good time, right?
I feel like, or I find that if there is something to do at the place, like if there's an event, the trivia, if there's a dartboard, you can focus on that. It doesn't even like cross my mind that,
Yeah,
oh my God, I can't drink. Oh my God, the bar's over there. I can't look. If there's like something to do to keep your mind or your body busy, it doesn't even cross my mind. And especially if
yeah,
it's fun and funny things like this that you can involve, your group or your friends, even better.
yeah, and I mean, like, again, like, have a craft pop and grab, like, a burger and hang out. Like, it's the atmosphere, what you're doing, and who you're doing it with that really create the environment and the fun, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm starting to enjoy it a lot more now. I was a little nervous at first because I gave up that life a long time ago, but
Yeah.
but I'm loving it. So all of the tech purchases I've made recently have all kind of gone towards that. And I think it's actually a really cool opportunity for people who are into things like podcasting. These are some of the ways you can supplement your income, like hosting
Yeah.
karaoke nights or, a live podcast show or stuff like that. And these venues are desperate for entertainment for their clientele. Like, they want to keep people in seats so that they're ordering food or drinks longer, and they want to look full. So if you can offer these things to venues, like, you can often get a free venue to, like, host a live podcast show, right?
Oh, you can. That's so true. There are endless amounts of locations or gigs out there to be had. My friend Ken, who is a podcaster, hosts drag brunches every Sunday and like burlesque shows on Sunday evenings. He's so good at it. And if you pitch an idea to a place or you have an idea for kind like some sort of event that you can follow through with and come up with the performers or the content to the gig, um, people eat that shit up.
I love it. Collaboration is king, I find, in the
It
digital
really
entrepreneur
is.
space.
It
Yeah.
100% is. It invites people into kind of our world, but also introduces you to other people's audiences, introduces you to like different. My last two clients that I onboarded, I'm helping them with things that I hadn't done in my business before, producing live streams, setting up home studios. And I was able to add these services to Pod Studio based on the needs of a client and collaborating with these different digital entrepreneurs. I had to educate myself a bit. I had to, make sure I was well versed enough to kind of guide someone through it. But
Mhm.
I'm like you, I love a course or a classroom,
Yeah.
so it's a challenge for me as well. And now, not only do I have these other two professional relationships, I can now offer, different services to future clients. I love it.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
I think too that, just talking about, like, creating home studios and stuff, like, and events, taking your digital business into real life, right? Like,
Yeah.
having this is your platform, this is might be how you build, how you wanna work, it's online. You can host virtual events. We just did the 424, and Nate was a speaker there. That's a really good way to network and connect with new people, give them an opportunity to shine, and everybody kinda get to know each other. Awesome, but in-person events, I find, really help you grow an engaged audience if you're looking for some local people to connect
Yeah.
with. Um, I can't even tell you, like, every time I go to a networking event, I get like 20 new followers from that event because I've actually spoken to these people, but they're engaged followers. They care about my content. I care about their content. We are actually connected. They're not just like a number, right?
Yeah.
And if I'm hosting an event, those kind of people would show up. Probably not the other 700 people that are following it.
Right.
I know
Right.
I know those 20 would actually be there, right?
Yeah. That's a great point, and I think that there can be a hesitancy or this like scary thought taking your online business local and in person sometimes. But to your point, those really are the folks who are going to be your raving fans and spread it word of mouth. There's something about the
Mhm.
local girl who's making it big time as the podcaster. You know what I mean? They're going to support you, I think, to a kind of stronger degree perhaps than, your online audience might.
Yeah.
So think about that.
They're engaged
They're
and
engaged.
invested in you, and then vice versa too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm engaged, invested with them. It's more of a relationship than a parasocial relationship.
Yes. Yeah, good point.
So let's talk about this is the wrap up of season 1.
It is.
Do you
Yeah.
wanna go through, like, what worked? What can we do better for next time? I know we've been brainstorming ideas because as a digital entrepreneur, we've actually talked about this. It is so hard to
Yes.
add more to your plate.
Yes.
So, like, I know me personally, I've been running into struggles being consistent and showing up for this project, other projects. And so we've talked about like ways to run season 2 to make this easier for us. So I want to share those. We're kind of going through this real time with you, and this is probably something that you might come across
Yeah,
as a digital
for
entrepreneur trying
sure.
to add podcasting to your repertoire. So why don't we start, Nate? Like, what did you enjoy about this season so far?
Many things, but I think things that worked really well, of course, were the tech reviews and tech talk. I think that is a relevant things for digital entrepreneurs and for this space, this tech space that we are in, and that this podcast is listed as, and that we seek, for our audience. So this technical side for digital entrepreneurs, very relevant. I love tech talk. I think that maybe narrowing our focus a little bit, like the Facebook group, I don't think really is relevant. Um, Especially when we're running our own businesses and we each have many platforms that people can find us on and that we can utilize to post things or whatnot. So I think in the beginning that sort of got us off track a little bit, and our focus was not as uh, a little all over the place in the beginning. So I think focusing on the show and recommending things, I think we can focus in season 2 a little more on getting partnerships and collaborating with other creators in this space. Maybe having a few more guests for season 2. I think that's always a big win for the guest and for us to share audiences and get our faces in front of new listeners. Those are the top those are top of mind right now. Let me think about it. What's on the top of your mind?
So I've thought about this a lot because I
Yeah,
love this project, and we've gotten some good feedback from people that I know personally that have listened
yeah,
and have learned, which is really cool. Like, that's the neatest thing. We're like, "Oh, I downloaded this app because I heard you and Nate talking about it." I'm like,
yeah,
"What?"
yes, yes.
That's so
Mission
cool.
accomplished.
Yeah, like, that's what you want as you're creating educational content and creating this space. It's like you hope it's adding value to someone's life, and so getting that feedback was so powerful for me. It just makes it feel worth it because sometimes getting caught up in metrics and all that kind of stuff can be really
Yeah.
disheartening. It's like stepping on the scale every day, right? Like,
That is
you're just
such a
gonna
good
disappoint yourself.
analogy. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But, and especially with a new show, like, things can take a while to kind of take off and stuff. So
yeah,
getting that real feedback from people is so incredible. I definitely agree the Facebook group I think was a bit ambitious to try and add to get started.
Yeah.
I would love, I think we talked about this off camera, but like batch recording our entire season and having
Yes.
like a solid plan of like this is what our listeners are going to get out of this season. This is the message or question we want to answer with this season, and these are the guests that are going to help us with that. Just
Yes.
having like a really good kind of pre-planning session and direction, and then recording it all before we even put out one episode, I
Yeah.
think would just feel good in my body.
Yeah. I
Um,
agree. 100%.
'Cause yeah, I think
Spend
when I'm
like 2 weeks, maybe like 3 or 4 sessions, batch record the entire season. Then we can plan based on the content that we have. This is how we're splitting it up. These are the
yeah,
guests. Oh, one more thing I wanted to add is having digital resources. We can maybe think of 2 or 3 digital resources to offer that make
yeah,
sense with the season, kind of package
yeah.
everything and then distribute.
So good. And that'll
Yeah.
help us too as business owners, like what offers do we have coming up that we can promote with these episodes that make sense and then have some time to create that content because I'm working on like a 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. schedule every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I really need to get better at like actually planning my content and batching it and just scheduling it and forgetting about it.
Yes.
In terms like just what I've learned through this process and many others as an entrepreneur is I can find consistency, but I can't be constant with things
Mm,
because my life changes so drastically when my kids are out of school or
yeah.
whatever
Life
happens
isn't
in work.
constant.
Life isn't constant. So
Yeah.
I started getting down on myself like, "Oh, because I'm not constant, I'm not consistent, it's not gonna," especially online. Like
Yeah.
showing up and putting stuff out consistently is really the best way to grow, and it's
Yeah.
like my worst skill. So I'm trying to find ways to like really batch things for when I have that time and space, I can sit down and get it all done. Um, it also helps me stay in that flow state, and I'm like, "This is my creative time," you
Mm,
know? Um, because I feel like I code switch a lot during the day. I'm a mom and then I'm like in my
yes.
business and then I've got clients and then I want to create for myself. And they're very different states. And I am someone who likes to hyper focus and just be where I'm at for a long period of time. And I work better that way. So it's really cool to learn this stuff. And I mean, for a long time, I beat myself up about that. And now I look at it like, okay, I know this is something that's worth working on and changing and putting the effort into because this is what I would want to create out of my life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And
could
it's not
be
like a personal failing.
no, I mean, that's some people don't have that skill. That can be a superpower, the ability to multitask life and be a mom and an entrepreneur and a comedian and these things that you are tackling in life, and the ability to mold into these different areas of your life.
Mm.
Superpower.
It it's also exhausting though. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I love that about myself and I want to find a way to make it work for me and not against me and the people I'm working with because that's, my worst nightmare is disappointing people and it happens when you get burnt out and overextended and.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Well, I think, yes, season 1, we, I think, accomplished what we wanted to in the end. We
Yeah.
have seen some growth, and I think that will just continue with season 2, especially, being more uh, focused and deliberate about the way that we distribute things and
Mhm.
showcase things. Um, so yeah, a little shaky. We learned lessons. We tried different things. I'm excited. I'm in it to win it with you, and I'm glad that we're able to kind of wrap things up today as a whole and
Yeah.
look to the future.
Me too. Me too. I love that, like, every time I listened to an episode after it was done, I was like, "Damn, this is actually good."
We are
Like
so good. We're good.
like, it's enjoyable and
Yes.
not it feels like it has a different vibe than what you typically hear. Like, I think we're still gonna figure that out in season 2, and it's just gonna get better and better, but, um, yeah, I feel like it's very authentic. I feel like we have good conversations, and the tech talk is so fun, and,
Yeah.
I
And
love the guests, and I can't wait for more of that.
we had some great guests.
Yeah.
Our 2 guests. We had 2
Yeah.
guests, right? But they were both, like, fire, like, top of their
Yeah.
game, in their own niche, and, I think we should maintain that standard of excellence, and considering guests
Yeah.
for the future, as well, and I think we just continue to be ourselves and authentic and do what we do, and that's what we can control. Hopefully, the right
Mhm.
person will hear our podcast one day, and who knows? Sky's the limit.
Sky is the limit. Well, thanks for
Yeah.
this, Nate, for this idea, this
Yes.
collaboration, and bringing this all together. I've had so much fun working on this with you, and I'm excited to dive into season 2 and just, get better every
Yes.
season,
That's all we can do is get better. Thank you, Brooke. It's been so fun. And to
Yes.
everyone listening, we'll see you soon.
Oh, I just got the feels a little.
A little feel, a little bit of feels.
Uh,
I
I
love
hate when things
it.
end, but
I know.
also it's like, yeah,
Like,
I need a break, but yeah.
we need a break. It's like almost summertime. Like, come on.